He likes to work angles and give different body positions, like he face to his left and then he face to his right, so it looks like he's throwing punches. Now he throws a jab up high, then he puts a jab in his face, just giving him different looks. And then he puts his hand on his lead hand and pushes it back, and then attempts to throw a jab to him just so he can give up real estate and give up space. So, and then right there, just throws a hook, and then he gets to the position that he wants, and then he's right back giving different looks, taking little steps back, always keeping the same space between them, little half steps back, and then he takes a step to his right to ankle his body off, then he steps back to his left, and then he jabs, and then he feints to the body. He just never in front of him. He's always giving different looks, never doing the same thing in front of him. Here he takes a step back and pulls back and makes a jab fall short and just remembers that look, then takes a step to his right and then sends the jab straight through the center, snapping the head back and keeping his opponent off balance and guessing what's coming to him. Here he gets carried away because he's doing too much movement. And then right here he throws his jab up high, and then his opponent takes a big step forward. Now he's closer to him. And then he has nothing but just a small step, and he catches AJ with a leaping hook, and AJ ends up stuck on his right side because of the way his weight is transferred. Because he's moving too much, the guy just takes a step in while he's moving and catches him while he has his back foot not set and moving on an angle. But AJ has his feet set now, and he answers right back with a jab. And then he feints AJ, and AJ reaches for his jab, takes a step back, and then sets up to try to get him to throw a jab again. See, he reacts to the feint, and he has that right hand cocked because he wants to come over the top with the right hand over the top of his jab. As he doesn't take the bait, AJ just pops back up, starts probing, then occupies his lead hand, and then shoots the jab through the middle. And then follows up with the jab and then a right hand, but he doesn't leave his back foot anchored. That back foot goes floating, and he ends up reaching for his target instead of pushing through his target. So, but it's still effective because he knocks him off balance, and then AJ answers right back with a jab, a power jab. Both of them are throwing power jabs, and see AJ got him to throw a jab, and he pulled out of range again, eyeing that right hand counter over the top. He's just slowly setting him up for it. He just doesn't know. And then he's moving side to side again, not staying in front, giving him different feints to the body. And then in this second round, he throws a left hook. AJ ducks up under it, and AJ just probing, waiting for that shot. And finally, he gets him to throw that jab again, comes over the top with the right hand, and that's all she wrote. He ends up knocking out Pool. So although it wasn't as smooth as it could be, he ends up doing it. And if Francis Ngannou comes out in Southpaw, he could do it Southpaw as well. Gets him to reach with the straight left, comes over the top of the straight left with a right hand, left hook combination. So AJ is going to be looking in this fight to get Francis Ngannou to reach. And Mike Tyson taught him how to throw the power jab, so there would be ample opportunities in this fight for him to catch him reaching.
I like that. The last one, push your body into it, yeah. Let go, boom, boom, boom. Let me show you. Boom, boom, boom. See, you push it in the last one. You saw that one? I know. Watch it one more time. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Say, thinking it. Let's say, ooh. Push your whole body in the last one. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Tyson Fury would make Francis Ngannou reach with the power jab, and he would counter him, but he would try to counter him with a left hook. And because Francis Ngannou would double jab and not give up ground, the hook wouldn't be there. See, Tyson Fury would be guessing what his shot was and smother his own shot because Francis Ngannou was making him give up so much ground. Right here he comes in again, reckless, again leaning and lunging in with the jab, and there's a perfect opportunity for AJ to just take a step back and come over the top of his jab with the right hand. And that's what his trainers will have him do in the fight. And he has, Francis Ngannou has intelligence. So it's going to be very interesting in the fight. If you notice this sequence right here, Tyson Fury sets up in front of him, right? Remember I talked about positioning and giving up ground, right? Tyson Fury feints, and Francis Ngannou doesn't react to the feint, right? He feints him back and gets Tyson Fury to react, right? And because he backs up, Tyson Fury pulls his shorts up to try to get Francis Ngannou's eyes to look down there. And then he turns it into a hook and then a right hand, but he smothers his right hand and Francis Ngannou guides it off, right? It's very important to note these things, right? So Francis Ngannou takes a step to his left. Tyson Fury knows, okay, I smothered the right hand and he threw it at the proper distance this time. He throws the same combination, the left hook. Francis Ngannou catches it. As soon as he catches it, he throws that left hook. That's why he took that step to his left to make the left hook get there before the right hand, and he ends up knocking Fury down, catching him in between his punches. He has a very, very high fighting IQ to not to have experience in the ring. He has the balls. It takes balls to counter punch. And like I said, he's fainting in there. You don't see feints from fighters in their first fight. You know what I mean? He has calmness. Like, he was able to recognize, okay, he threw a left hook right hand at me. Let me take a step to my left to get closer with my left hook. And the moment he throws that shot, he ends up catching him with the left hook over the top and knocking him down and doing like a little Tekken move. So smart. The key for Francis Ngannou, which I know he will do because he's very confident, is to get AJ to give up ground. Right here, he jabs Tyson Fury to the chest, pushes Tyson Fury back. Tyson Fury tries to land a counter left hook, but he's under it. And then right here, same thing. He gets Tyson Fury to give up a lot of ground. Right here, he jabs. Even though he lunges in, Tyson Fury is ready to counter him, but he ducks up under the counter because he gets him to give up so much ground, and he hits him with a right hand to the body. So Tyson Fury was either too far out or too close. So that's why he gave him so much respect, because his power made him respect him, on top of him not giving up ground. If you go look at his UFC fights, he rarely gave up ground in the UFC. So this is why this is going to make for an exciting style matchup between the two, because Francis Ngannou has the confidence of a guy with 30 to 40 fights and a heavyweight champion, undisputed champion of the world. He was in there fainting and everything. But I think it'll be a really exciting fight with knockdowns between both. But I think the key between these two is Anthony Joshua knows how to fight while he's tired, and Francis Ngannou doesn't. If you look at right here, Francis Ngannou shakes the lactic acid out in his muscles from holding his hands up so high, parrying the shots. And this will be a battle of the lactic acid. You know what I mean? Both of these guys have big muscular frames, but I think Anthony Joshua is just more used to fighting while he's tired, so he'll get better down the stretch, and Francis Ngannou won't. Because I don't think Francis Ngannou, even right here, Francis Ngannou tired, still catch Tyson Fury trying to jab to the body with a counter left hook. Like I said, he has natural intelligence for fighting. It just MMA, boxing, whatever. He's just blessed with that. But look, you see his mouth wide open, breathing heavy from the shots. I think that will be the key. Anthony Joshua, you know, people say he has stamina issues, but you rarely see him breathing with his mouth wide open. You've seen that out of Francis Ngannou because, you know what I mean, he's a big muscular guy and he's not used to fighting down the stretch. So I think down the stretch, Anthony Joshua has a clear advantage through just experience. If you go look at Mayweather versus McGregor, McGregor did good in the first half of the fight. Down the stretch, he started to fatigue. I think that's going to happen here with Anthony Joshua. I think it'll be multiple knockdowns like with Ron Lau versus Foreman. But I think the pace will go back and forth. I don't think it'll be a clear-cut person. Like, if it could look like Francis Ngannou is going to win the fight at one point, I think it could look like AJ is going to win the fight at one point. I think this fight's going to be fight of the year. I'm saying it now. Because if you look at the styles, forget the names, forget the records, you look at the styles, it's to me shows both fighters like to throw big, heavy shots, punches with bad intentions. And you have one fighter in Francis Ngannou who fights like a Ron Lyle, who's going to bring the fight to you. You know what I mean? And you have a guy who's more scientific, like AJ. George Foreman was that in this fight, and he ended up taking the win. So it basically comes down to what AJ has left in the tank. AJ's made millions in the sport of boxing. AJ is you know what I mean? He's done it all in the sport. So I think when he gets knocked down, he's going to have a decision to make if he's going to continue to fight or not, because I think he will get knocked down. Francis Ngannou is determined to find out if AJ can take his power or not. So he's going to be coming forward, not giving ground. And I think we could see a fight like Ron Lyle versus Foreman. Ron Lyle started off winning this fight, knocking Foreman down and hurting Foreman multiple times. But Foreman, because he was the more skilled guy, ended up knocking Lyle down and then eventually ended up knocking him out. It's an old quote that Cus D'Amato used to tell Teddy Atlas. He said, "Hey, Teddy, what's up? You have two fighters. Both of them are strong and equally have power. Who wins?" And Teddy said, "I don't know, Cus. The smarter fighter wins. This is not a tough man's sport. It's a smart man's sport. So if you have two fighters that are evenly skilled, evenly powered, evenly everything, the smarter fighter's going to win." In this case, I got to go with the experience in AJ. Now, like I said, it could be an upset. You know what I mean? With fucking Francis Ngannou, because I don't know what AJ has left in the tank. If he can get up, if he gets knocked down like George Foreman did. This was a brutal knockdown. But George Foreman couldn't. He said he had made so many excuses in Africa. He didn't have no excuses in this fight. So that's what drove him to get up. And he actually was saved by the bell. You know what I mean? History would have been different if Ron Lyle would have had a couple seconds on the clock. But yeah, so I think that AJ is going to have to pull out his George Foreman. He's going to have to use his brains and his grit. Exactly like that. He needs those two things. If he's missing any of those things in this fight, I think Francis Ngannou beats him. But I mean, I always go with experience. I always go with logic. AJ is a better boxer than Francis Ngannou, even though he has natural intelligence that God sent him on earth with. And I noticed that Mike Tyson then was posting all of his sparring footage for the fight with Tyson Fury. This camp has been ultra super secretive. So I don't know what they got on their sleeve. I don't know if it's injuries. I don't know if they ain't even showed him knock down one sparring partner. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting how this fight goes. I'm going to be here for it, just like the rest of y'all. But ultimately, I think AJ takes it. You know, and my logic is has to go with experience. A guy that's used to fighting while he's tired, used to fighting down the stretch. One of the things that Ron Law made a mistake on in this fight is he got fatigued. You see him breathing with his mouth open, throwing heavy shots, and George Foreman knows how to throw, rest, make him zap his energy, etc. Use his strength, and eventually ended up getting a knockout. And George Foreman knocked him down. Not only was he unconscious, or not unconscious, not only was he dazed, but he was fatigued. Look at him. He barely has enough energy to even roll over. And I think that's what's going to happen to Francis Ngannou. But I look forward to this fight. I hope it's exactly exciting as I think it's going to be. But anyway, it's the Boxing Scholar, and I'm out.